You don't need more motivation. You just need to clear out what's in the way of your natural drive. So, um, oftentimes we're going along with things that aren't fully true for us. Maybe at one point they were. Maybe we got our start somewhere and we just kind of fell into a rhythm where eventually it doesn't feel authentic for us anymore. And so we kind of naturally have this unwinding where the motivation starts to stop because we're being called to something bigger. We want to shift to something that's more aligned for you at every stage in life. So, often we have all these different phases we go through. Where we see a lot of problems is sometimes we have these prolonged stages where we're not really evolving. We just get stuck in patterns. And and so we're just trying to get connected back to what's true for you now. And so that may mean taking inventory of your life and trying to figure out where you're stuck, where things aren't feeling good for you, where you feel like you've outgrown things, but you're still playing small. And we want to get more dialed into that. What are my next levels? What are my next steps? What would excite me? These are good questions to start to get the wheels turning. And you'll have ideas start to flow in from that place, but it's not, we're just kind of shaking things up. Like, especially if you've gone through the motions for a long time, it may take a while to get the creative juices flowing so we can start to wake things back up. But we want to, as we get exciting ideas or thoughts coming in, we want to give some legs to those. We want to start to sit with it and start to ask those deeper questions of how can I take some steps forward? How can I implement these things in my life? And generally those are going to be small steps. It's just going to be putting yourself out there in new ways, taking some small risks, just trying to shake the energy up to get some movement going. And and if we're wrestling with those things, it's going to start to birth kind of this new path. And and this new path, it is more of a calling. It is more of a this is what I've always wanted to do. Uh, and I might be in the place in my life to execute on it now. So sometimes we stop dreaming in our 20s where we have these big goals, but we don't know how to execute on them. And so we needed to go into the deep hard work for our 20s to really build those skills so that we can execute on a bigger level later in life. Okay. And so it's about reimagining, rewaking things up. And it is about being present with stuff. So it's as these things start to flow in and they create the excitement, I want to start to move with them. I want to start to nurture them. I want to also protect them. I want to share them with people that can help me forward, not people that would destroy it. So we just want to clear out any of the doubts or the old stuff that's standing in the way from this next step, this next level. And and it is generally a identity shift. There's going to be some things we have to outgrow. There's going to be things we have to let go of in that process. But that's how we find our new rhythm. It might not be me having to take massive action all the time. It might be me slowly aligning the pieces so that they start to work together and form this new path that, maybe it's done a little bit more consciously or intelligently rather than through massive effort. Okay, so if we've already had the stage in our life with massive effort, generally that's taught us the skills and the abilities we need to be efficient at. And so we just start to utilize those in a more intelligent way. And so generally the next chapter, it's about being more efficient with things rather than functioning by brute force. And so that's a shift that I think a lot of people have a hard time with because we think that we always have to push things forward when sometimes it's just aligning them.